Comedian Tommy Davidson says he hasn't heard from his former In Living Color co-star Jamie Foxx in years. According to Page 6, Tommy says he hasn't spoken to Foxx since he released his memoir in 2020. And in the book, Tommy alleges that Foxx made many jokes at his expense on the set of the hit sketch comedy show. So he was compelled to include it in his memoir. Ladies, what do you think about this?
You know, I'm sure that set was competitive as hell. You have the funniest people on that set.
Yeah.
Of course it was competitive. Of course everybody wants to know who's gonna be the breakout star, right? Who's going to be the funniest? And I feel like you teach people how to treat you. Tommy should have pulled Jamie aside and said, hey, you know what, when you do that, man, that's not cool, it makes me feel a certain way.
Exactly.
That would have stopped it, but I also feel like when you're writing a memoir, you're telling your story. It's not about you trying to bash somebody else. This is your story, how you perceived it, how you saw it. So it's unfortunate that happened, but I can see it on that set. Everybody was hot. Everybody was on their game. So of course it's gonna be competitive.
It's either have that conversation as a sidebar or come as hard. Because sometimes, you know, comedians will come after you, but if somebody comes and tops them, it shuts them down.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, back then, Tommy Davidson was the bigger star than Jamie. Jamie was probably trying to find his way, and Tommy, this is the thing about comedians. A lot of times we make fun of people, but then when they do it to us, we can't take it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are you doing? So I just don't, I don't know. I just wish that they could talk and just, you know, get it together.
Yeah, what bothered me was that it said that they were friends.
Yeah.
And so similar to what Garcelle said, if y'all were friends, why didn't you feel comfortable enough to tell your friend, hey, I don't like it when you do this to me, right? If I were Jamie, I would have an issue with the fact that you never told me, but you feel okay telling the world.
But I think he may have told him.
That, to me, would be an issue.
That's what we don't know.
Well, he says that he didn't, though.
Well, I think that there were some issues, like with what I was reading with Keenan and how, you know, it was impressing Keenan. Yeah, so it's a lot of ego. Ego is a hell of a drug, and it's a friend buster.
Again, if you're friends with somebody, before you go and blast the person, because what if Jamie didn't know that what he was doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever been in a situation like that where maybe you did offend somebody and you genuinely didn't know it? You think you're just kikiing it up.
Right.
And
no,
then,
you know when you offended something. I mean, you remember when I was doing them Christian jokes on Tamara. You remember, and it's like, I could feel that she was feeling kind of way, so I had a conversation. Yeah.
I felt like you thought you were genuinely being funny, and she came and told you.
But no, you could see on her face, like if I do a joke about you or you can kind of sense as a comic, so I don't keep doing it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have a conversation with you and I don't keep doing it. I'm just looking at it from Tommy's point of view too, because I think sometimes it's so easy for us to be like, well, you know, you should go talk. And sometimes it's hard to go talk to a person.
Yeah, but from Tommy's point of view, he should understand why Jamie hasn't spoken to him though also.
But you know what, also, it's the dozens. You're in a space with all those comedians. Everybody is
vying for the top spot.
You can be a victim at any moment in one of those types of settings.
Yeah, that's true.
I would find it just as disrespectful if I called you a friend, you never told me we had an issue, and I found out years later in your memoir that you had an issue with me that you never felt you could confront me about.
I think
I would find that disrespectful.
There are friends, and then there are, that's
work people.
Yeah.
Work friend.
And that is true.